Liliths. This is AstroDim here with the next episode of my Bed and Astrology. How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. So today I actually had a request to talk about Lilith about a couple of weeks ago. I actually need to respond back to that email. I've been so busy and it's I need to respond back to that email, but I feel like this is like perfect timing because right now I'm talking, it's about to be Scorpio full moon, you know what I mean, Taurus season. This is a very, very important moon. I feel like strongly that this moon is going to release some secrets, hunty. It's going to release some secrets. And when doing your full moon rituals and manifestations and releasing, make sure you talk about the connection in your life between self-worth and shared worth, regardless if it's financial, emotional, physical, mental, whatever it is in your life. Understand the connection and balance between your self-worth and your shared worth. How you intimately connect with yourself and how you intimately connect with others. You know what I mean? You see the balance between the two. You know, those are basically the two meanings of Taurus and Scorpio. So make sure you do that, okay? And just one more thing too. Usually everyone, it depends on where it is in your chart, but generally with a Scorpio moon, inside you want to intimately connect with others, and get how others move and kind of tell your story, have other people tell theirs, mostly how other people tell theirs if Scorpio's involved, right? Because they're the investigator. You know, they can know all about you, but you can't know about them like that. You have to put in some work. But you're going to want to do that deep down inside. But the sun's going to be shining at not intimately connecting with others, but intimately connecting with yourself and building your self-worth and your material worth. You know what I mean? It's not going to be that much about bonding, but more about self. So that's where the sun's going to shine at. That's where how you're going to react. Instead of doing what's inside, you're going to naturally want to react to more connecting with yourself. I always suggest you follow the moon because you have the rest of Taurus season to connect with the sun and what Taurus wants to do. So follow the moon, connect with Scorpio moon, and do that, okay? But anywho, I'm not talking about the moon, Scorpio full moon. I'm talking about Lilith. So we're gonna chat about the myth of Lilith, the whole story, right? Then we're gonna talk about how to see it in your chart. Next, after that, we will talk about how what it means and how it applies to your chart, what it means for you specifically. I'm not going to kind of go through the signs and houses and stuff. I might talk about maybe the angle houses or the mutable houses. It depends how I'm feeling. But, you know, that's what we're basically going to do, okay? The thing is, I'm an actual astrologer, and I developed a Lilith report. So if you're interested, of course, you can hit me up. My email is 7th High Entertainment, which is 7THHIGHENT @gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter as well and DM me there. My name is AstroDim, but the actual name is Emmett Dimmy, which is my name frontwards and backwards. IMMIDDIMMI. Okay. You can hit me up either of those places. I'll tell you give you a list of the price list and everything, and we can do a little report there. I'm gonna actually think about it. I might if you are interested in doing and getting a little report and you're listening to this, I might give you a phrase. I might be able to give you a percentage off. I might be able to do that for you. Let me just think about that though, okay? But this is the beginning of the Lilith episode for my Bed and Astrology by AstroDim. And hold on, y'all, because we're about to get real, we're about to get fun, we're about to get funky. All right. All right, so now we're going to talk about Lilith. The whole myth, the whole story. I'll give you just the gist of it, so we won't be talking about it too long. But if you're like interested or was raised upon Abrahamic religions, you probably know who Lilith is. Lilith, wow. Lilith was actually the first woman. You know, it's part of the creation story. You know, there's Adam and Eve. Eve actually wasn't the first woman. It was Lilith. And so the thing is with Lilith, what made her special, she did, unlike Eve, she wasn't a part of, you know, Adam's rib. God made Lilith like he made Adam. God made both of them through the dirt. They were equal. One was just a woman and one was just a man. That's an important point. I need to just stress right there. One was a woman, one was a man, but they were equal. They were made equally. You didn't need one to make the other. Okay? So, with Lilith, right? She was just as assertive, just as strong as Adam, and they clashed a lot. They were consistently fighting, and Adam would just kind of cry about it to God, like, oh my goodness, like, she's wildin', yo. Like, he would just cry and cry about it and make a big thing to God and complain about her a lot. So with Lilith, she just didn't care. She was like, you know, I'm as equal as you. I'm yin, you're yang. I'm going to get all in my yin energy, and you're going to get all your yang energy, and we're equal, and it is what it is. I'm not going to subdue myself for you, right? So this kind of was a last straw scenario here where, in which Lilith and Adam, you know, was having sex, and she wanted to be on top. Adam was like, no, I don't want you to be on top, and like was making a big thing about it, and she just was like, you know what, fuck you. You know what I mean? She's just pissed off. She's like, what the hell? Like, just let me be on top, motherfucker. Like, damn. And so that was a thing or whatever. Adam actually went to complain to God about it, and I guess God was kind of like a little bit on Adam's side, or something similar to that, or it was something similar to that, where God was on his side, or Adam actually like really just put his foot down, like, no, I don't want, you know, you need to listen to me. And Lilith was pissed. She was just getting tired of always being clocked on what she was doing. She was tired of being suppressed. She was tired of being, you know, talked about how she naturally was as a person. So she got pissed off, had a raging fit, and ran off from the Garden of Eden. She just ran off. And depending on who tells the story, she ran off and killed babies. She ran off and killed people. She ran off and had sex with a whole bunch of men and then murdered them afterwards. Depending on who tells the story. Some people even think she just ran off to a cave just to like try to just calm down. Different people say different things, honestly. But within that moment, when she was away, after she kind of seeked out her revenge, she went away. She kind of reflected on what she did and how to, like, you know, how to kind of take the situation that she was in with Adam, and the relationship she had with Adam, the relationship she had with God. God actually sent out angels to come get her, and that just made her mad all over again. because at the end of the day, they were kind of still on Adam's side. And she's like, why don't you get me? Like, why don't you understand this is wrong? So she got mad all over again. And so it's just kind of was a circle of her being suppressed, her taking out her revenge, her calming down, her being suppressed. It's just like a constant circle that goes around and round and round with her. And so her spirit, her essence is of that continuous circle. Being suppressed, taking out revenge, transmuting that energy to something positive, but being angry again. And you know what I mean? And this is really, with this story, it's funny how it's the creation story. Because with these religions, and it's more than Abrahamic religions, a lot of people have a similar story here. And Lilith is even called different names. It's the same story from different cultures. It's teaching the patriarchy of the world. It's showing how if you stand up for yourself and you're of feminine yin energy, if you are an alpha female, if you're assertive, you will get punishment. But if you're like Eve, understand that you're a part of a man. If it wasn't for the man, you wouldn't be here. If you're more subdued, if you listen to the man, then you're good. And now you're the mother of all people. So it's something to really think about. This is a creation story. This is how people think that where they came from. To this day, some people still think this, right? And it's important because how religion is ingrained still in people's governments, ingrained into our culture, because it was ingrained into our governments beforehand. It kind of built this patriarchy and kept it going. So for a lot of civilizations and countries, now we know there's a lot of civilizations and countries who actually believe in matriarch, or some that believe that people were just equal. But with globalization and colonization and imperialization, you know, that changed a lot. So this whole patriarchy was just pushed. And it kind of goes with the idea of how a lot of people, like metaphysics folks and astrologers and people who's like really deep into the deeper meaning of the cosmos, say that this earth and this solar system is really yang based. They try to push up the light and put down the dark. Push up the masculine energy, put down the feminine energy. You know, push up the yang, push down the yin. So it's something to think about here. I have a note. I might just add a little something. I might make it an own segment. I may actually put in the last words about how this is connected here, but how this could be connected in some other galaxy, some other universe, and how it could be flipped. You know what I mean? But anywho, we're not going to get too far into that. That's the story of Lilith, okay? Now, with the story of Lilith, it's connected to 3 points within the universe of astrology. It's the 3 points of the asteroid Lilith, dark moon Lilith, and black moon Lilith, okay? Now, actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna keep y'all hanging. Cliffhanger. Okay, I'm gonna keep y'all hanging with that. I'm gonna talk in the next segment about the meaning of asteroid Lilith, the meaning of dark moon Lilith, the meaning of black moon Lilith, and how it's connected to this story. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk about, too, within the same segment, what that means for men versus what that means for women. And then we'll just throw some examples over there. I really feel like I want to focus on the angle houses or the cardinal houses, because those are the people who have Lilith and the carnal houses are the most affected by it. Not saying that other people aren't or whatever, like they're not affected. It's not really strong in their lives, but people who have it in the angle houses or the cardinal houses, it's because those houses are all about how others are, how you are, it kind of is how those houses are kind of like really important to how you assert yourself into certain things, right? Because of that, like it's really important if Lilith is in one of those houses, okay? Or at least conjunct to one of those house cusps, okay? So I'm gonna hold off on it. Next segment, we're gonna talk about the Liliths a little bit more. And we'll have fun, motherfuckers. Yeah. All right. All right, babies. Yeah. All right, babies. So, now we're going to talk about the 3 points of Lilith, y'all, and how it kind of coincides with the story, okay? So, like I said before, there's asteroid Lilith, dark moon Lilith, and black moon Lilith, okay? And, you know, these 3 points are important because it kind of shows the 3 main points of the story, and you'll get to see in a second, all right? So asteroid Lilith is an actual asteroid that's in the asteroid belt, right? And so it represents Lilith basically, but the part of Lilith that it specifically represents is Lilith's suppression. Okay, it represents suppression as a whole. All right, and as you could tell in the story that I mentioned, how Lilith was suppressed because she couldn't fully express her femininity, her beyond femininity, her dark femininity, her more assertive femininity, her feminine power. Okay, it's different between her femininity, Lilith's, and Eve's, because Eve's is more of a docile, subdued femininity, while the more alpha, the stronger, assertive femininity was kind of pushed down because it was equal to Adam's, right? So what Lilith represents in general is suppression. Okay, next is dark moon Lilith. Dark moon Lilith is apparently no one really knows what it is at the moment, at least to my knowledge. It's like kind of like a cloudy spherical thing that no one knows exactly what it is, but it's there and it's in the sky. It's dark moon Lilith, right? Now dark moon Lilith represents revenge in general, okay? It represents revenge in the story. What Lilith did in revenge, depending on who tells the story, she ran off, right? Some people said she just ran off in the cave. Other people said she ran off and killed things, was a whore, basically, quote unquote. And just did some fucked up stuff because she was angry. But a big thing, regardless of who tells the story, she ran off from the Garden of Eden, right? She didn't want to be there no more. And even if you go another level deeper than that, her revenge too is to not go back to the Garden of Eden too. That was a part of her revenge. Like, she wanted people to understand how fucked up this was and how strong she felt about not being able to fully express herself and be equal. If you go even deeper than that, like, you know, a part of her revenge, or some people may even say a part of her the part of her, I guess, lesson from God is that now she's known as this demon evil being, when she really isn't. She's just misunderstood. So some people may say like, oh, well, that's what she gets, and God like kind of smited her, and now she's this thing that no one likes. But it could be to revenge, like, all right, then I'm gonna be this total motherfucking badass then, and not listen to anyone, and tell people not to do this and do that and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be full into my sexuality. I'm gonna be a alpha woman. I'm not going to be a beta woman like Eve, right? So yeah, that's Dark Moon Lilith. Dark Moon Lilith represents revenge. Okay, now Black Moon Lilith, all in all, it means like totally different things for men and women. I'll get into that, but all in all, Black Moon Lilith represents control. Okay, it represents control. Now, in the story, you know, that's all that Lilith wanted, was control over herself. She actually reminds me very similar of the Capricorn energy, because Capricorn energy, people always mistake them of wanting to control people, and that's really not what they really want. They just want control of themselves. And so Lilith kind of has this similar vibe, even though she's closely connected to the Scorpio energy. This kind of reminds me of Cap energy, and I think she's being suppressed from the Cap energy, right? It ends up, it's like a mixture of Cap and Scorpio, because Scorpio represents empowerment too. So it's kind of like a mixture of both, but you know, all in all, that's what Black Moon Lilith represents. Now, Black Moon Lilith is an interesting spot. Black Moon Lilith is between the lunar apogee of our moon, right? From when it's, you know, circling around the earth. It's between that and the earth. So it's just this like weird spot. And it's kind of like this black thing that some people seen, some people didn't. You know, it's weird. It's not like Dark Moon Lilith, where people saw it and don't know what it is. It is, some people seen it, some people didn't. It's just this black thing, and it's like, the people that see it, like, they know it's a noticeable thing when people, like, when people see it, they don't really know what it is. That's Black Moon Lilith there, okay? So, like I mentioned before, Asteroid Lilith means suppression. Dark Moon Lilith means revenge. Black Moon Lilith means control, okay? Now, overall, when we talk about Lilith, we're talking more about the woman's plight within patriarchy, right? And so, this story is super duper connected to not only women, but feminine energy. So you can be a male with feminine energy, you can be trans with feminine energy, you can be whatever. You can be like, just don't believe in a binary system at all, and just be of feminine energy, right? But the thing is with that, even though it is very connected to feminine energy in this earth, right? In this solar system, probably, masculine energy is affected by this too. It's because there's men and women on earth, you know what I mean? And so to kind of, even to procreate, right, you need both a man and a woman. Like, we are needed in each other's lives, regardless if we're in a same-sex situation or not. We need both men and women in you know, on earth, to kind of grow earth and to expand earth and to live, you know what I mean? And so the masculine energy is strongly affected by the feminine energy of Lilith and the Lilith energy overall. So the thing is, even though this is strongly connected to feminine energy, masculine energy is affected too. And so the Lilith points in your chart are very, very important as well for men, or masculine energy, okay? So, you know, I'm going to talk about how to find it in your chart too. All right. yeah, I'm going to talk about how to find a chart before I go into the like men versus women, okay? Asteroid Lilith. The number of asteroid Lilith is 1181. That's the asteroid number, right? The number for dark moon Lilith is H58. And the number for black moon Lilith is H13. Now, make sure you write those down. I'm going to say it again. Asteroid Lilith, 1181. Remember, that's suppression. Dark moon Lilith, H58. Remember, that is revenge. Black moon Lilith, H13. And remember, that is control. Now, the best thing to do, and what I personally do, is to go to astro.com, go to the extended chart selection. All the way in the bottom, there's going to be a bar. And this is where you can list the number or the bar, like, you know, the identifier of different asteroids in different spots in the sky. Put those numbers in there, right? Press complete chart, and they will show up. Now, the thing is with that is asteroid Lilith would show up as I think is Lily in parentheses I. That would be asteroid Lilith, right? Dark moon Lilith was showed up as Waldemoth because that's the second name of dark moon Lilith. I think it's called Waldemath or Waldemorth, something like that. Okay, it has a W in it. you'll see. Okay, and then the third one, it will be Lilith. Parentheses O. That would be for black moon Lilith. Okay, now I'm gonna want to talk about black moon Lilith actually before I talk about what it means for men and what it means for women. The thing is with black moon Lilith is interesting. There are like mad versions of black moon Lilith, and it's really annoying because people pay attention. Okay, so I'll talk about just one weirder version of black moon Lilith that I don't get. Okay, there's black moon Lilith, right? The actual black moon Lilith, that black thing in the sky, it actually moves, right? Goes around probably the sun or I believe the sun, or it probably goes around the earth. Excuse me. Black moon Lilith kind of rotates, so it goes into different signs and shit, right? But it goes in different. It's like kind of erratic how it, you know, revolves around the sun or the earth or both, right? It's kind of erratic. It's really hard to calculate. And so what people did is have a mean calculation of how it goes, how it rotates, basically, how it goes around the sun and earth, right? And so people kind of made like an estimation of it, and it's called mean black moon Lilith, right? But the Lilith that I gave you, the H13, is the true black moon Lilith or oscillating black moon Lilith, because it actually calculates how a black moon Lilith actually revolves, you know, around the earth and sun or both or whatever, right? So when you think about it, why would I get a mean number of how it revolves when I can get the actual factual position on how it revolves? You know what I mean? And so people are out here using the mean, and you know, sometimes they meet up correctly. Sometimes the mean is a little backwards from true black moon Lilith. Sometimes the mean black moon Lilith is a little bit forward. It's stupid. Like, why would you use that when you have the actual placement or actual, you know, point of where black moon Lilith is? Like, I don't get it, but people use it. It's people. I personally say, get the real position of where black moon Lilith is. Use what I use, H13 black moon Lilith. Okay. All right. So sorry for that speech, but I have to say it because it just really annoys me. If you guys know anything about Lilith, if mean Lilith means something different within the story or whatever, let me know. Because the thing is, there's a funny thing about Lilith. It's really hard to get this information. I end up getting this information through channeling. through studying and looking at other people's information, but it kind of goes far and in between. I actually got this information, most of it through channeling and trying to understand it and then testing it out and see how it works for my friends. And that's how I developed my own Lilith report. So it's kind of like, you know, the information is hard to find. If you feel like mean Lilith is kind of different from true Lilith and it actually is accurate, let me know how you feel. I would be really interested, okay? But yeah. Now let's talk about what it means for men and what it means for women, okay? So we'll start off with Asteroid Lilith. Asteroid Lilith for women, or feminine energy, means suppression. How does men, or the patriarchy of the system of our society, suppress us? Because, you know, the patriarchy is just men rule, is a society that's ruled by men. So how does the patriarchy suppress us, our feminine energy? How it suppress women, right? But for men, it actually means how does a woman suppress them? How does women in general suppress them? Now, it's funny because, you know, usually you kind of think like, how would a disadvantaged groups suppress women? You know, for a masculine energy person, it's a little bit more personal. It's not as general or globalized or universal as it is for feminine energy. But it can be personal with feminine energy too. But that's what it is. For Asteroid Lilith, for women, is how does the patriarchy suppress us? For men, is how do women suppress them, okay? And I'm going to be using feminine energy and women and masculine energy and men interchangeably. Please try not to get confused or offended or whatever. I'm just talking freely, okay? All right, so next is Dark Moon Lilith. So again, Dark Moon Lilith in general means revenge. So for women, it means how do women seek out revenge to men after that man or that patriarchal system, you know, suppress them. So after the suppression and all that shit, how do women, or how does this person, this feminine energy, seek revenge out on that person, seek revenge out on men? You know what I mean? Or the masculine energy. Okay, so that's how it's related for women. Now for men, this represents how do women seek out revenge on to men. Now it's so interesting because, like, again, you know, this masculine energy, feminine energy, you know, I've done charts on a couple of my friends who were gay, like gay men, and it applies to them too. How, you know, so it doesn't really matter if you're, you know, if you're a man or a woman, if you're gay or you're straight, whatever, if you're a masculine energy or a feminine energy, like, it applies appropriately. So the gay men that I did this on, they consider themselves a masculine energy, and you can see, like, it's funny, I keep meeting men who are getting suppressed by people that in their careers, gay men, and so it will show clearly on their chart. It'll be on their 2nd, 6th, or 10th chart, house in their chart, and they're like, yeah, I always have a hard time with women managers. It's because for some reason that woman kind of, she reminds them of something, it pisses her off, and so she seeks out revenge on to them. It's really weird. So yeah, again, it doesn't matter what you are, what your orientation is are you feminine energy or are you masculine energy? And then you can apply it whatever way, you know what I mean? All right. And lastly is Black Moon Lilith. So for women, this one gets a little funky, okay? So listen to this. Black Moon Lilith in general means control. So for women, Black Moon Lilith stands for after the suppression, after the revenge, after all that anger and emotion and all of that. How do you transmute this information and transmute this emotion to do something productive. Now, this productive thing could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's what you think is productive. How you transmute this energy to do something productive. That's what it means for women, okay? And so in the story, right, Lilith, what she did after she went to that cave and with all that, what she did was kind of set off in her own world and was like, bump the Garden of Eden. I'm going to live my own life where I'm going to be happy and to get to do what I want and be this alpha female that I can be. And that's how she was productive in here, in this situation, okay? Now for men, it's totally different. For men, it's quite primal. So Black Moon Lilith for men represents that woman that they like can't control but want to control, that sexually turns them on, that drives them crazy, that makes them angry but want to fuck them at the same time, that just, I don't know what to do with her, that type of girl. I mean, you guys, you know, you've seen a relationship where you met this guy, he's like crazy over this girl and he can't stand her but he loves her, and it's just, it kind of reminds me of a Mars Venus like square or a Mars Pluto square relationship where you fucking hate them but you love them at the same time, and they disgust you but they like turn you on. It's kind of like that type of aspect. It's like it's not really discussed that much with them, but it's kind of like, I can't control her, she's a freaking hot mess, like she's everything that I don't want in a woman, but she just does something for me. It's that type of energy, okay? That like they want to control her, but at the same time they love her for who she is. It drives them crazy. It's that type of like confused, convoluted ass energy for men, okay? That's what it is. So that's the difference between what the Liliths, the three Liliths, mean for men and women, and you know, kind of the meanings of what the Liliths are in general. With Black Moon Lilith, you know, remember that how control is connected, because control, like for women with Black Moon Lilith, control is kind of having taken control of over your life after you've been suppressed and after you took your revenge. And then for men, it's kind of like controlling that woman that just drives you nuts. Like how Adam felt. Like Adam was totally turned on by Lilith. Thought Lilith was so fly, but he wanted to control her and he didn't know what to do and he couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? And you know, Lilith, you know, Adam missed that sex from Lilith. Eve was probably boring. God bless her. But like, that's how it is. You know what I mean? Now, usually when people talk about Lilith, they're talking about Black Moon Lilith, because that's the most popular Lilith. The Lilith that probably affects us the most because it's the closest to Earth. It is very, very connected to the moon. But I just wanted to make sure y'all understood what asteroid Lilith and dark moon Lilith is too, and how it's connected to the story, okay? But usually when people say Lilith, they're talking about Black Moon Lilith, okay? Just so you guys know that. All right. So next segment, we're going to talk about what does Lilith mean in your chart, like how you can see it in your chart. I'm going to look at the angle houses and kind of talk about that. Talk about all the three Liliths and how it can apply in the angle houses. I can't go through all the houses because that's going to take some time. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about the signs that much either, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if I talk about this stuff, like what's the point of my Lilith report, right, that you can buy? And actually too, I'm going to talk about that Lilith report, see if I like have if you say a code, if you email me a code or whatever, I could hook some shit up for you, you know what I'm saying, get you maybe like, you know, a 25% off type of deal, you know, we'll see how it is. All right, love. So keep your wigs on. Get your, fluff your pillow. Get your bed comfy, because we ain't done. All right, babies. So now we're going to talk about how the 3 Liliths could apply to someone's chart. I'm going to focus on the angle houses. I explained to you why, but I'll say it again. The reason why I'm pointing out the angle houses, because if if any 3 of them, especially Black Moon Lilith, if it's or if it shows up in your angle, one of the angle houses, or it's cusping one of the angle houses, which again is the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, or your ascendant line, your IC line, your descendant line, and your midheaven line, then it's really shaping how you look in the outside world, into society, which is very important within Lilith in general. Okay? All right. So let's kind of go through all 3 Liliths in all 4 of those houses and see how they could apply to others. Okay? Hopefully, you can see what I did, apply it to your chart if, any of the Liliths are not in those 4 houses, but, wish you luck, dog. You can always get a reading from the Lilith report from me. Okay? And I'm thinking about, maybe doing 25% off on the reading. If you say something, I don't know. You gotta think about it, okay? I'll talk about it in the last words, all right? All right. So let's get started. So talk about the 1st house, okay? So if your asteroid Lilith is in the 1st house, that means that you feel suppression when it comes to self. It means that someone won't allow you to be yourself. Your personality is stubbed. You're probably are told what to wear, how to look. Someone's always talking to other people when it comes to you before a person gets to meet you, or without your consent, or without you being there. So when other people meet you, they already have this idea of you, and it's all muddied and all fucked up, or just not even fucked up, just different. Okay? The thing is with Lilith, remember how I told you, it's big on in general, it's big on kind of like revenge, suppression, control, but it has a strong sexuality to it. So, remember, like, sex is really deep into this, and it's not just kind of like that Mars, like, kind of just strictly sex. Is that more kind of like platonic sex, the very deep, emotional, intimate bonding, sucking someone's soul out type of sex, you know what I mean? So it's very emotional, very intimate. And so they're not just going to be like, yeah, this person fucks everybody. It's going to be just more emotional attachment to it. It's more of a feminine sexuality. So, if asteroid lives in your 1st house, someone's going to be basically fucking up, sullying your first impressions, your personality, and you might just feel naturally just suppressed within that. You can't fully express yourself without someone having an issue. If you have dark moon Lilith in the 1st house, that means that you use your personality for revenge. So you might be kind of like this hot, sexy vixen, and or you just have this kind of like ill kind of feminine sexuality to you, that you kind of use your ways to get what you want, so you can put revenge onto folks. You know what I mean? Use your personality, use your looks, use your appearance, use your fly to get what you want. You know what I mean? Gotta use what you got to get what you want. And it's more like very like yourself, like your appearance, your personality, your first impressions and shit like that. Okay. And then if you're Black Moon Lilith, now the Black Moon Lilith is really, really strong in charts in general, stronger than the other 2 Liliths. because it's kind of talking more about the embodiment of Lilith. Like usually if someone has Black Moon Lilith in the first house, people are like, you are Lilith. So, you know, keep that in mind, that, you know, Black Moon Lilith kind of shows where you embody this Lilith energy. You know what I mean? If you have Lilith there, then I would say, actually, let me rewind that a bit. Let me go to Dark Moon Lilith. Dark Moon Lilith for men, I want to make sure I talk about men too. Because when I talked about asteroid Lilith, it applies to men and women. Dark Moon Lilith for men, again, is how women seek revenge on you. So that means that a woman uses her personality, her sexuality, her looks, her appearance, her first impressions to seek revenge on you. So it's something that you need to look out for, okay? But anyways, back to Black Moon Lilith. If you have Black Moon Lilith here, that means you are Lilith. You embody this energy. And so what you do is, it's kind of like how you gain control over your life after you've been suppressed, after you've seek revenge, after you've gone through this emotional turmoil, emotional depth. How do you take control over your life afterwards? How you transmute your energy. So you transmute this energy to, you know, by using yourself, building yourself up, getting all these emotions and kind of weighing it out, pro and con in it. But instead of focusing on like how it applies to you and money and all that stuff, or spirituality, you kind of build yourself, your appearance up. You build your personality up. You kind of look at certain situations, be like, okay, I need to do this better. I need to be more of this person. I need to look more like this. My first impression needs to be like this, so they can get the real me, or get the me that I want them to see. Okay, so that's how it applies to the first house. All right, so we'll go next to the fourth house, because remember, we're only doing angle houses. So if you have asteroid Lilith in the fourth house, right? Asteroid Lilith in the fourth means that you feel a certain suppression when it comes to your privacy. That people are always trying to expose you. It could be even your own family. Like, you're always being exposed. You can't have a private moment. You can't have privacy at all. You know, people are always just aware of what you're doing. And you can't have just a sense of self, because, you know, it's just impossible. Like, you just can't do it. Like, everyone just knows everything. And, you know, you might, because the fourth house represents family as well, and your mother, it might be your mother that's suppressing you. It might be your family that's suppressing you. It might be this situation of your home that's suppressing you. It might be that it might be that your emotions, like, you feel so deeply and strongly, and it's just so opposite of how your life is, that you feel suppressed by your own deep emotions. Okay, it could be like that. Now, this goes for men and women. Again, with men, it's like how women suppress you. So this is how a woman suppresses you. For men, it's really strong with their mother. This kind of shows how your mom suppresses you if you're an asteroid. You know, if your asteroid Lilith's in the fourth, okay? If your Dark Moon Lilith is in the fourth, it's how you seek revenge. You seek revenge by making sure the shit's not private for people. You could be telling people secrets. I feel like it's more of an 8th house Dark Moon Lilith. But it's kind of like you seek revenge by, like, you don't tell anyone secrets, but you kind of set certain things up so they can get exposed. So you're not technically telling the secrets. You're just making shit exposed to people. You might do this by, again, connecting with their mother on a, like, deep level, so mother can just spill the beans. Connected with their family to do it. Being in a situation with your home and exposing them there. You kind of set shit up so they can be exposed. And so, again, for men, that was for women, but for men, women will do this to you, so you need to watch out. Like, how like Kevin Hart got caught up and someone like basically had the video of of that whole situation of him like cheating on his wife. I wouldn't be surprised if he had Dark Moon Lilith in the 4th. If it's a common thing that keeps happening to him, you know what I mean? So that's that. Now Black Moon Lilith again is control. So after the suppression, after the revenge, all these deep emotions, how you take control over your life. You take control of your life by taking back your privacy. You take control of your life by taking back your home, securing your home, kind of staying at home, connecting with mom, connecting with family, connecting back to your roots, to what you know, and getting a realization of who you really are through your family, through your roots, through your not even community, but through your home. You know what I mean? Where you were raised, or where you live your life on an everyday basis. You just retreat back to home. Okay. Black Moon Lilith, one thing I forgot to do is for men. So for Black Moon Lilith for men, again, like for men, it represents the woman that drives them nuts. So for men, for the first house, Black Moon Lilith, the guy that would drive the girl that would drive a guy nuts for Black Moon Lilith, or the feminine energy that would, is someone who is self-assured in her personality, self-assured in her first impression, just really strong and assertive. She has a confidence, not kind of like a Leo confidence, more of a like, she's just assertive and kind of aggressive. They like that type of chick, you know what I mean? But if you're Black Moon Lilith is a 4th house and you're a man, that is more of a you like a woman that is kind of like Eve-ish, subdued, laid back, homebody, womanly, curvy, just what society sees as a woman. You know what I mean? Just the extra feminine and soft and nurturing, loving, like a mom. You know what I mean? You probably would want a MILF. that's the chick that you will want to control and suppress, but you might feel like she's too feminine. And same thing with the first house. Like, that's the girl that they like and they find attractive, but they want to kind of control and suppress her too. This assertive, aggressive, like straight and narrow chick. Like they're gonna be like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's so sexy, but it just irks me. You know what I mean? So they'll feel like that if a guy's Black Moon Lilith in the 1st, but if a woman, if a guy's Black Moon Lilith in the 4th, they'll feel that way for like the extra nurturing one. They'll get annoyed. They'll probably be like, stop loving me, or stop being so nice, or like, let me go, like, stop babying me. They'll, you know what I mean? It'll be like that, So Asteroid Lilith in the 7th. I got this. I got this placement, okay? So I can speak to it. Asteroid Lilith in the 7th, both for men and women, is how you're suppressed through relationships. In like any one-on-one relationship. So it could be romantic, but it also could be platonic. People try to control you. People try to control who you hang out with, who you else you relate to, how you are. They try to they kind of see you as their personal doll, their personal hangout person, and they take you along with them. I deal with that a lot with not only the guys that I'm with, but even with my friends, where they just always are trying to tell me not what to do. Like, sometimes they would do that and they didn't go far because I have such strong Aquarius energy, but they'll like even try to like on the low try to convince me to do certain things, or try to use Jedi mind tricks. Like they can do that to a Scorpio Mars. Like I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them, but like I would have situations where they're like, my friends were trying to find ways to kind of control me for their benefit, not really for mine. You know what I mean? And so this is I see this a lot with the men in my life. This is really strong with my romantic side, where men try to control me and try to like make me fit in their world, even though my world is totally different. Like they won't even take consideration of my world. They try to fit me in their world, and I'm like, no, I want to do this. Like I'm very strong-willed, you know what I mean? So you're not gonna really tell me how to do and what to live. So that's how it works for men and women. Is how the society for women is how society, or how men try to suppress you. And for men and the masculine energy, if their asteroid Lilith is in the 7th, is how women tries to suppress them. Okay, now if your dark moon Lilith's in the 7th, I don't have this placement, but I can speak to it, of course, still. If your dark moon Lilith's in this 7th, that means that you try to seek revenge through relating with other people. So it could be on some sly shit, like you keep your friends close but your enemies closer, and so you kind of like cool with your enemy, or cool with someone that you're not that you don't like that much, and try to keep tabs on them. It could be some real shady shit in which you get with someone just to set them up. I've heard a whole bunch of those stories in Boston, child. Okay, like you date someone just to set them up, and that's how you seek revenge onto others. You know what I mean? You kind of like it could even be something crazy, like you make sure that them relating with other people don't happen, or it happens a certain way, so that other person that they're relating to, it just doesn't work out. You know what I mean? It could work out that way. It's weird. And so for dark moon Lilith, it applies on how, you know, men try to suppress women, but for men, it shows how a woman tries to suppress them through relationships and shit. Okay, now I have this placement as well, black moon Lilith in the 7th. So black moon Lilith in the 7th is really tough. Again, like I said, like you embody this energy of Lilith. If your black moon Lilith is in a certain house, that's how you embody this energy. And so my black moon Lilith is in the 7th, and again, it has to deal with control. So how do you take control after you've been suppressed, after you've taken out your revenge? How do you control yourself in a situation? Let me talk about control first, and then I'll talk about the embodiment. With people with black moon Lilith in the 7th house, they try to control their lives through relationships. So like what they'll do is, after they kind of ran through that circle and now they're trying to transmute this energy, kind of like person who wants to make a relationship work, whether it's romantic or platonic, will talk to the person and be like, listen, this is what I wanted. You didn't give me this. I'm trying to be myself. You won't let me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They'll openly talk to the person. If a person doesn't want the relationship anymore because they felt so suppressed and they felt so hurt about it, they'll cut off the relationship completely. Like, nope, you're dead to me. Leave me alone. And I do that a lot. I do that a lot. If I felt like no one really understood what I was saying and they're just using me in my relationship, I would just cut them off. You know what I mean? They just use the relationship and they like control the relationship and say the relationship's in my hands now. So I'm going to let you know if you're just an acquaintance, if you're a friend, if you're a lover, if you're just nothing to me, I have control of it. I'm going to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? So Now the embodiment. Now this works well with men, because if men have Black Moon Lilith in the 7th, right, it kind of goes in with the embodiment for the women too. You know what I mean? Because when I talk about you embody this energy, this is more for the feminine energy, but it can also apply to the masculine energy too. You know what I mean? So, but it's more for the feminine energy. I'm just going to say that, okay? But when a man has Black Moon Lilith in the 7th, the type of woman that they're like super duper interested in is a person that is like can relate to others, that's extremely charming, that can mesh with people well, can kind of follow a crowd and go with the crowd, who can just charm folks, who's beautiful, who like looks the part, acts the part. She, you know, she could put on a face very, very well. Think about Libra energy, okay? Venusian energy. You know what I mean? The person that just like randomly starts playing the piano in a in a party and everyone's just wow. Like the person that's just the beauty queen. You know what I mean? When I think about Libra energy, I think about the beauty queen. You know, so like that's the guy that like guys that have Black Moon Lilith in the 7th wants to control that. They maybe even want to have her for herself. Like, no, you don't show off and be this like beauty queen to anyone but me. You know what I mean? So they might try to control her that way. But the thing is, if a woman has Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house, she embodies this naturally. So, you know, you can't control her because this is how she is. You know what I mean? And it's like she kind of like oozes the sexuality through that. And so like she's being who she is. She's doing this. She's embodying this Black Moon Lilith in the 7th energy out, and it's coming off sexual. And so he doesn't like that, and so he tries to control it. You know, you get what I'm saying? So that applies with every house. You know what I mean? For like a woman with Black Moon Lilith in any house, but I'm going to use 7th as an example. She embodies this Lilith through 7th house things, through relationships, through relating with others, through being this beauty queen, right? This pageant queen. She embodies it, but the thing is, the dude with Black Moon Lilith in the 7th doesn't like it. He wants her for himself, so he tries to control her. But the thing is that he likes that about her at the same time, so he doesn't know what to do with himself. You know what I mean? And again, this applies to any house. You get what I'm saying? It not what I exactly said, but like it can work in the 4th house too. So I already said it, but let me just talk about it one more time. You know, a woman with Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house embodies being this like feminine, caring, nurturing woman, right? But a man with the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th tries to control it. It's just like, you need to not be so nurturing and loving to me. Like, you need to be tough. You need to toughen up. You know what I mean? So that's how it applies, okay? And then lastly, asteroid Lilith in the 10th house. Someone tries to suppress you in not only your career, but how you're recognized by other people. It's funny because people in general that have any of these Liliths in the 10th house usually have like sex careers. They're usually sex workers. So usually prostitutes, porn stars, escorts. You know what I mean? Because if you kind of listen to the stories of women or men who are like working the sex world, they were suppressed strongly. Like they either were from like strict parents, or they didn't get a home life at all, or they were kind of raised in a cult or strict religious sect. You know what I mean? And so with asteroid Lilith here, how people recognized you was suppressed. You couldn't be yourself. You couldn't be recognized because you had just a huge thumb just shadowing over you making you be something that you're not. You know what I mean? So that's how, for women, of course, that's how men controlled them. And for men, that's how women, suppressed them. Okay? Now, if Dark Moon Lilith is in the 10th house, see, these are the folks. Remember how I talked about Kevin Hart and how he got caught up cheating on his wife? The chick who set that up probably has Dark Moon Lilith in the 10th, because they use how people are recognized, they use people's career and seek revenge on that. So they're the ones that will tell the public or tell the media about a certain fucked up thing that the person do, set a rumor up, it could be truth, but it'll be someone's secret, set them up through telling their secrets and trying to tarnish their name, tarnish their career. You know what I mean? That's what a Dark Moon Lilith person would do. That's how they would seek revenge. So for women, that's how women seek revenge onto men. But for men, it's how women seek revenge onto men. You know what I mean? And I think I might have misspoke. So let me on the other Lilith. So let me kind of go through the Liliths again with the Dark Moon Liliths. For Dark Moon Lilith, in the first house, for women, is how women seek revenge out to men. They do it through their personality, their looks, they use how they look, or even use how the men look. So even if they can even roast the man, make the man feel like shit. You know what I mean? It could be something like that, right? But for men, Dark Moon Lilith, it's kind of that's how a woman tries to get revenge onto them. You know what I mean? So a woman would roast them. A woman would seduce them through their looks and personality like that. And then I just want to make sure, just in case I misspoken, for the other houses. For Dark Moon Lilith in the 4th house, a woman would, again, use her home, use someone's privacy and expose it. That's how they would seek revenge onto people. But for men, that's how women would seek revenge onto them. They would use their home, they would use their secrets and expose them. For 7th house, for women, they would seek out revenge on doing some setup shit, using ways to relate to people to put revenge onto them. It's more of a one-on-one relationship, kind of warm someone up, get them all happy, and make them feel special, and then drop the bomb. But for men, that's how women seek revenge onto them specifically. They are the ones, the women are the ones, they are the victims. So the woman is the one who is doing dirty to the man, okay? So again, with the 10th, for the woman is seeking revenge onto the men by fucking up their character. Fucking up their status, fucking up their career, fucking up how they're recognized. While the men for them, that's how they are victimized, through suppressing women. You know what I mean? They are the ones that are victims. So Kevin Hart would be the Dark Moon Lilith in the 10th. You know what I mean? While the girl will be Dark Moon Lilith in the 10th, who kind of set him up, okay? And then lastly, Black Moon Lilith. So again, it's just control, how someone brings back control into their life, how a woman brings back control after the suppression, after the revenge. So after that, what she does is build herself up, build her name up, try to have people back on her side again, so she could be recognized as this hero, as this poor woman, as this sad woman, similar to what Black China was trying to do with the Rob Kardashian thing. And after he put her naked photos out like that, how she just kind of went to the public and see, I'm the victim, blah, 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 stuff like that, okay? Because, Rob was trying to victimize make himself the victim, but she was like, well, I'm the victim because you put my shit out. You know what I mean? So that's how it would work for a woman. She tries to build herself up, kind of have this control over her life through how she's recognized and through her career. But if a man has Black Moon Lilith in the 10th, he tries to control the woman who is recognized for being a Lilith type of person, who's recognized for kind of holding her own, who's recognized through other people, her like sexuality, her femininity, her strong femininity, her assertive femininity, her sexual power. You know what I mean? They are totally turned on for that. Again, like I said before, women with Black Moon Lilith and Asteroid Lilith in the 10th are usually sex workers. And so like these guys will probably, if the guy has Black Moon Lilith in the 10th house, he's probably so into a woman who just is assertive and no pushover, and it's just sexual and does not give two fucks about what other people think. But the thing is, he's trying to turn a hoe, and excuse my language, because I'm not calling these women sex workers hoes at all, but the term is important. Just trying to turn excuse me, let me just say hoe. They're trying to turn a sex worker into a housewife. Now, sex workers can't be housewives, but you get what I'm trying to say here. You know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, because I feel like people can do whatever the fuck they want. It's their body and it's their life, you know what I mean? But they're trying to kind of turn this hoe into a housewife. But the thing is, she's not for that life. She is not going to be submissive. She's not going to be Eve. She's going to be Lilith, and people are going to know her as Lilith. Because the thing is, remember, for the woman who has Black Moon Lilith in the 10th house, she naturally embodies this. You know what I mean? She can't help but to be this. You know what I mean? That's how she is displayed. But the thing is, this man is trying to control her. All right? So that's Lilith through the angle houses. If you've noticed when I mentioned how, especially with Black Moon Lilith, how they kind of go hand in hand, how the woman embodies this Lilith if it's in a certain house, but if a man has in a certain house, he recognizes that, is attracted to that, but tries to control it. So it goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? All right. So those are Lilith within the house, the angle houses. Those are the probably most important houses Lilith can be in. But of course, if it's in a different houses, it's important. But those are like, really, those are maybe not the most important, but the most seen by society, the most significant. Okay? All right. So we're about to go through last words, y'all. I hope you're enjoying this. Let's get this going. Let's keep this going, actually. All right, love. This is last words from me. So remember in the beginning of the second segment, the end of the second segment, I was mentioning how this could be flipped, right? The whole little story. I was talking in ways of gender, or of masculine energy versus feminine energy, so it doesn't have to be gender specifically. In this earth, this society, the main society, you know what I mean? Of course, there's people out there that still believe in matriarchy, but this is in general, right? This is a big, like, this world is big on patriarchy. You know what I mean? And you know, when people, like I said before, who are like really into the cosmos, into astrology, into metaphysics, feels that it's not just an earth thing, it's a solar system thing. You know, this whole solar system is big on light. Everyone says love and light. No one understands darkness. They kind of push darkness as something that is bad or evil naturally. When we come of darkness, it can't be evil if we come of it. That's where we're born. You know, dark energy is feminine energy, which is yin energy. You know what I mean? There's good and bad in both light and dark. But for some reason, light is brought up, dark is brought down in this world and possibly this solar system, right? So this could be flipped in a different dimension, different galaxy, different world, where it's a matriarchy, right? And it is the men who are suppressed instead of the women, like it is here. So there might be a Lilith out in a galaxy far, far away, you know, that it went through the same thing, but it was a man. It was a person of masculine energy. You know what I mean? And it's women who are ruling the world and are suppressing men and are treating men like shit. And so they have 3 points in the sky themselves. It could even be Lilith, where they see how they're suppressed, how they seek out revenge after being suppressed, and how they transmute that energy to become better people. You know what I mean? And then the women kind of see it and how they are placed in it in the world. So it really doesn't have that much to do with gender or masculine and feminine energy. It has to do with power. Who seemingly has the most power, or who is aware of their power and the other person's power, and how they use their power to push down the other person's power so they won't realize how important and how great they are. And this is applied in so many parts of our lives and our world. You know what I mean? With race, with class, with gender, with anything. There's these powerful people who are of these demographics. They know how to utilize their power. They peep the other people's power who are different from them, and they stop them from realizing their own power. So that's what this whole thing is about. It's about power and control and self-empowerment and what you do to break out of it. It's the whole cycle of that. It has to do with gender, because the story specifically about this, you know what I mean? But the story could be flipped in a different dimension, different galaxy, different world, different life, where it's the women who are of control instead of the men. It's a matriarchy instead of a patriarchy. So keep in mind of that. This has to do with personal power. And just because we live in this world now, we are the Liliths, meaning women, or meaning feminine energy. So you don't have to be women. It's the feminine energy that's the Liliths, and the men who are the Adam, or who are the ones of patriarchy. But it can always be flipped. Okay? It could be flipped here too. Shit. If we really understood our power, it could be flipped here too. So that was a part of my last words. Something I really wanted to bring home. Again, like I said before, asteroid Lilith is how women are suppressed for women, and how for men it is how men suppress women. You can find that asteroid is by typing 1181 into astro.com's extended chart. You could do the same thing with Dark Moon Lilith with H58, and Dark Moon Lilith means for women how women seek revenge onto men, and for men how women seek out revenge on that man specifically. Okay, and again, this H58. And for Black Moon Lilith for women is how do women embody Lilith themselves, and how they take control of their life through transmuting all that hate and bad energy, how they transmute it to something productive so they can control their life again. That's what it means for women. And for men, it's the woman that they're trying to control, the woman that they are so sexually interested in, and they love her for being this person, but they also want to control it, and it drives them nuts. That is H13. Okay? All right. So with that being said, My Lilith reports, y'all, they're dope as shit. Ask about me, okay? My Lilith reports are really good. When I do my reports, guys, I go really in. I'm not gonna give you no half-ass shit. It's recorded. You can save it, my nigga. And I look at just not at those points. I look at other planets around it. I look at the houses. I look at the signs. I give you a full explanation, baby, okay? Now, usually it's $40 usually, so I put a lot of work into it, okay? And honestly, I feel like that shit's cheap too. I feel like $40 is pretty cheap for the amount of work that I put in a report, but it's whatever. I'm being nice, whatever. But the thing is, since you're a listener and since you're interested in a Lilith report, I'll give you 25% off. That's $10 off, $30, right? If you're interested in a Lilith report, hit me up on Twitter, ImmitDimmy. Remember, IMMIDDIMMI. Or you can hit me up on my email, which is 7, the actual number, THHIGHENT@gmail.com. That's 7thHighEntertainment.com. Okay? Hit me up. I only do reports for people who have their birth time. So give me your birth time, okay? That's really, really important. If you don't have a birth time, honey, I can't do a chart for you, okay? I don't want to half-ass something for you. I want to really give you all that I can and give you all the information that I could possibly give you in a chart, okay? So please give me your birth time, birth place, birth date. And the thing is, though, I'm not just going to give anybody this little report chart. You have to be a listener, of course, but you also have to give me this passcode, Lilith. So instead of the TH, switch it to an F. So LILIF, Lilith. Okay? That's the special code. So if you mention Lilith in your DM or your email, you can actually go on Instagram too and shoot me a DM there too. My Instagram is _AstroDim. Hit me up there. I have my price list there too. But if you say Lilith, make sure I see it with the F instead of a TH. If you say Lilith, I'll charge you only $30 instead of the $40. Okay, 25% off, motherfuckers. And this reading's bomb. I'm telling you, okay? The reading is dope. All right, loves. I so enjoy doing this. I love talking about Lilith. I really spent time not only researching, because you can't find that much information, but I spent so much time channeling this information and trying to understand it, what it means for men versus what it means for women. And so I hope you really enjoyed this and understand this and get it. You know what I mean? If you have any questions, hit me up. I would love to have a conversation with you guys. You can hit me up in those emails and those DMs. Remember AstroDim 7 on actually, excuse me, not AstroDim 7. That's my YouTube name. It is but check out my YouTube too while you're at it, because I did do 2 videos on Lilith. So my YouTube name is AstroDim 7. I did 2 videos on Lilith. Check those out. But my Instagram is _THE_AstroDim, which is ASTRODIM, the AstroDim, right? You can DM me there. If you have any questions, you can hit me up and DM me on Twitter, which is ImmitDimmy. I'm also AstroDim there, so if you type AstroDim, you could probably find me. But it's IMMIDDIMMI. Or you can hit me up at 7thHighEntertainment@gmail.com. Okay? All right, loves. I enjoyed you so much. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a wonderful Scorpio moon. Realize that your manifestations might not come until Scorpio season, so don't freak out. Make sure you manifest. This is a big moon to manifest in. Taurus season. And that last new moon that we had, Uranus is all up in it. Take advantage. Manifest, motherfuckers, okay? I do moon readings too, where I can tell you specifically how to manifest and what to manifest to fully get, to make it more effective, to make your manifestation more effective. So you can hit me up with that too. Just check all my shit out, basically. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But beyond that too, take advantage of this Scorpio moon, full moon. Do your rituals, manifest. Use this energy. Charge up them stones. Charge up your life. Charge yourself up. Stay blessed. All right? Love you guys. Peace. Hey y'all, this is AstroDim here from my Bed and Astrology. Wanted to make a quick update, just so you guys are aware. So I've done Lilith videos before on YouTube. Feel free to check out my videos on AstroDim 7 on YouTube. And the thing is, Asteroid Lilith, I wanted to mention something because kind of comparing it with women versus men is sometimes difficult and interesting. So in my YouTube video, when I talked about Asteroid Lilith, I mentioned that this is actually where how men suppress women. But on here, I mentioned that this is how women suppress men. And I wanted just to make it clear, just in case someone saw my video and compare it to this podcast and be like, hey, which one is it? It's both. It's both. And that's what it is. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. And I should have been a little bit more clearer on the podcast. So number one, I apologize for that. But it's easy for you to just apply it per the information I gave earlier. You can just go ahead and say, okay, how do I suppress women? Oh, okay, I do it this way. And you can, and it's funny because the thing is, like, for men, it goes hand in hand. Usually when it comes to psychological things like them being suppressed by a woman, maybe earlier in life or a critical point of their life, they in turn do the same thing to women because they're trying to take their power back. You know what I mean? And this is just not just men, it's women, it's any energy that's available on the earth. All right. People in general just do that. They get abused, and in turn they abuse others the same way or similar way to gain back their power somehow, i.e. bullies. A little kid gets yelled and screamed at by their mom. Thus they beaten up by their mom and dad. Thus they yell, scream, terrorize, and beat kids in school. So I just wanted to make that clear. I want to apologize too that I wasn't clearer about that, and that how if you saw my YouTube videos and then compare it to my podcast, how you could be confused. It's both, okay? And I've actually seen it work out both ways. More recently, I've seen it work out as in how do women suppress the men? Because sometimes too, when you give readings, these Lilith readings to people, they don't like accepting the part of them suppressing people, but they love hearing about how they're abused, but they don't like to see how they abuse people. So when I give readings, I ask, does this resonate with you? And they'll say, well, I do get suppressed by this, but they don't talk about how they suppress other people. And this is just not a thing, a man bashing thing either. How this is how men suppress women, blah, 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 blah. Everyone suppress anyone. You know what I mean? So it could be a woman, she could be straight, she can have masculine energy, and this applies to her. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who. Like, everyone suppresses anyone. Everyone seeks revenge on anyone. It's just, this talks about more of how this applies to the patriarchal society and just the patriarchal world, and how it just seeps into our personal lives, in our psychology, and our persona deeply. You get what I'm saying? All right. So I hope that was clear. Still available. So if you want a Lilith reading, I'll be able to hook it up for you. I do it via recordings, and I try to have a good back and forth with others, and It's usually people, when I give a reading to them, they like it because I'm very personable. Yes, I'm very personable. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll love to answer them. Okay, these are the great ways you can contact me. You can contact me at 7thHighEntertainment@gmail.com. That's 7, the number 7, right? THIGHENT@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter, which is Emmett Dimmy, which is IMMIDDIMMI. You probably type AstroDim and my name will pop up. My name, _AstroDim on Instagram. You can check me out there too. Again, it's _AstroDim, THE_ASTRODIM. All right. And then on Snap, my name, I believe, I always forget my name because it's not clear. On you can see everyone else's name, but not your own. But I believe my name is IMMID /7. So again, IMMID /7. Okay, 7 the number, not written out. So yeah, hit me up, guys. I would love to hear from you. It'll be really, really cool. I'll be excited to talk to you guys. Okay, all right. And I hope this was helpful. And enjoy. Okay, you have a lovely weekend and happy Scorpio full moon, loves. Peace.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.